Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me join you this afternoon. I'm delighted to be among friends, and personally, I would begin this moment by expressing profound gratitude to all of those in the room whose organizations, institutions, and publications have written favorably about our effort, from Human Events, that I think was the first out of the box with a strong endorsement, to Family Research Council and others. It's frankly, it's a very humbling thing for me to have received the encouragement that I have received. I am mindful of the proverb that a man is tested by the praise of his peers, and so I will thank you and leave it with a sense of undeservedness despite your generous prose. Let me say emphatically for just a few minutes why I am not running and why I am running. I am not running because I think any of the current leadership failed to do a workmanlike job in the 109th Congress. I think Majority Leader John Boehner took on a thankless job in a difficult environment, and I believe that he is to be commended for the job he did. He is an honorable man. He is a conservative, and I, like most members of the Republican majority, feel a great sense of gratitude to John Boehner and his family for the sacrifices that they made to stave off what could have been a much larger rout on Election Day 2006. So I am running not because I think I am a better man than either John Boehner or Joe Barton, but I'm running because I believe that I might just be the best man for the job of minority leader. When I look at Election Day 2006, while a difficult war in Iraq was a factor, while a litany of scandals was a factor, I believe that fundamentally the foundation of public confidence in Republican governance was eroded by our departure from limited government, fiscal discipline, and reform. And I believe that to restore public confidence in our commitment to those Reagan ideals, we would do well to bring new faces and new voices to bear on the challenges that we will face in the 110th Congress. I believe the role of the minority leader is one that is largely defined by communications. We simply have to have the ability and the credibility to speak to millions of Americans who cherish limited government and traditional moral values, and win back their confidence as we go in to Election Day 2008. With great respect to the other candidates, I think I may be the best candidate of the three to win back that public confidence. Let me close with a last provocative thought. I see the role of the minority leader in the 110th Congress as being characterized by two specific challenges. Number one, I think the minority leader needs to be prepared to lead a team of leaders in the Republican conference to challenge Speaker Pelosi and her big government liberal agenda at every turn, and to challenge them on the floor, on the committee, and on the airwaves. We simply need to be willing to be that cheerfully pugilistic, loyal opposition that the American people will expect us to be. not engaging in the personal invective that has characterized much of American politics in recent years, but rather vigorously opposing the big government and socially liberal policies that will proceed inevitably out of a Democrat majority. The second challenge, I believe, of the new minority leader will be a willingness to stand with this president when we believe he is right, and to oppose this president publicly and boldly when we believe he is pursuing policies that violate our commitment to limited government and fiscal discipline. As many of you know, my career in Congress has been characterized by a willingness to stand with this president, even on difficult issues, when I thought he was right. There's not a dime's worth of difference between the president and me on the war on terror and the war in Iraq. I stood with my colleagues through the difficult issues like the Terry Schiavo case and stem cell research, and stood with the president as he vetoed legislation that would fund the destruction of human embryos for scientific research. But I also believe the role of a minority leader will be to be willing to challenge the president of our own party respectfully but forcefully should this administration depart from our commitment to core principles. I must tell you that I was a candidate for Congress in 1990. I was on the ballot in Indiana when the last Bush administration, working on deficit reduction with a Democrat majority in Congress, passed what was then the largest tax increase in American history. As Moses said famously, I've been burned by a bush before. And I will say to you that if I am elected minority leader, I will stand with this president when he's right, but I will oppose this president when he is wrong. The duty of the minority leader will be to represent the views of our conservative conference to the White House, not to represent the views of the White House to our conference. With that, let me say again how grateful I and my family are for the support that's been expressed all over the internet by the enormously influential voices that are in this room and on this call. We're deeply humbled by it, and I can tell you that win, lose, or draw on Friday, we will owe a debt of gratitude to each of you that we will pay by continued fealty to the principles that unite us. So thank you very much, and with that, Tim, I'm
yeah, we'll